Okay, so we use the FOIL method to multiply binomials. It's the FOIL method. F-O-I-L. Now you need to know, you have got to know how to use the FOIL method, because you will be using the FOIL method when you move on to factoring polynomials. You have to know the FOIL method. Frontwards and back, like me. Okay. So, let's say, okay, here we go. Here is the usual, they say AX plus B times CX plus D. Okay. Trying to cover up that. Okay, there we go. Now I can just do this. Okay, so that. Okay, the first step has a pretty great name because it is basically telling you what's first. Because first step is of FOIL is first, F, first. With the first one, you are multiplying the two first terms of each binomial here. So AX. So this would be AX times CX. That is your first step. It's to multiply the two first terms of each binomial. Your second step is outer. O-U-T-E-R, outer. Your outer. First outer. Outer, you multiply the two outside terms of each binomial, which here would be AX and D. So, outer. AX times D. Your next step is called, the next step is the inner step. Inner. And then the inner step, you multiply the inside terms of each binomial, which is B and CX. And then, last, again, this is a very great name for this step because it is, in fact, the last step. You multiply the last two terms of each binomial, which would be B times D. So, the FOIL the FOIL method, essentially, you end up with your first step, which is AX times CX, plus your second step, which is AX times D. I like to put my parentheses around it because it just makes it easier to kind of separate. And then your inner step, which B times CX plus, gosh, I'm bad at this, plus your last one, which would be B times T. So that's essentially what you will end up with. Alright, that's the whole big picture, yeah. FOIL method. First, outer, inner, last. So what we do is we take we're going to do the first, outer, inner, last, okay? Okay. So, let me just rewrite our little problem here. Is x plus 5 times x plus 6. So, first, we will multiply our firsts, which are here. First, which would be x times x first. And then our outer, which outer x times 6. And then our inner, 5 times x. And then our last, 5 times 6. Okay, so x. The x and the x. The x and the x, of course, would equal what? X squared, because 1 plus 1. X squared, and then the x times the 6. What is x times 6? X times 6 is 6x. And then, what is 5 times x? 5 times x is 5x. And then, what is 5 times 6? Well, 5 times 6 equals 30. So, then we combine the like terms there. Gross. We combine like terms right here. So then we bring it down and we have x squared. 6 plus 5 equals 11 plus 11x plus 30. Alright, now that's how you do your simple little FOIL problem. And here, let's go over to a slightly more complicated one. Let me just rewrite our little problem out here again so that it's colorful. Let's see. 7x plus 5 and 4x minus 3. That is our problem now. Okay, so first we've got 7x and 4x. So, what's 7 times 4? 7 times 4 equals, anybody? 28? Yes, 28. 7 times 4 is 28. Now, x times x, you got the 1 on each side, so what does that mean? It means you add the exponents, so you have 28x squared here. Okay, that's your first. Now, your outer, which will be up here and here. So your two outer terms, what is 7x times negative 3? Well, 7 times negative 3 equals negative 21. And you don't have an x over here, so you just put that little x right there. F-O-I, I for inner. So you do 5 times 4x. What is 5 times 4? 5 times 4 equals 20. Am I right? I'm right, yes. 20. And then that one doesn't have an x, so you just put your little x down here with it. And then last. Threw my pen there. From your last, you have this 5 and negative 3. What is 5 times negative 3? 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Now you combine like terms, which here and here. So then you just bring this one down because this one doesn't have any like terms. You can't combine anything with this. So you have 28x squared. Negative 21 plus 20 is the same thing as saying 21 minus 20. Right, no, Whoops. Negative 21. No, yeah, it's like saying 20 minus negative 21. Not 20. Goodness, my brain is fried. This is the same thing as saying, what is 21 minus 20? 1. Now stick a negative on it. That's how I stick it. Think of it as in my head. So 21 plus 20, negative 21 plus 20 equals negative 1x, or as you are supposed to write it, just negative x, because the 1 is invisible, and then you just take your little 15 over here and you drag it down because you have nothing to combine with that little 15 there. And voila, you have your answer, 28x squared minus x minus 15. And that is how you FOIL.